Hello guys, welcome back to Cosmic. Today, we're diving into the story of the Sentry issue number 2, where things get more intense, and we learn about the complex nature of our mysterious hero. Our story starts with Robert, who is thinking, "You are not a hero," as people often tell him. He's just an ordinary man now, 15 kilos heavier, a drunkard, and at a dangerous point in his life. Robert remembers feeling like he used to be a superhero named Sentry, but now he's just another face in the crowd. But the truth is he fears crowds. Surrounded by people, he starts to sweat coldly. He's even afraid of heights and wonders how he ended up in this place. The echo of this city makes him feel as if the past is speaking to him, reminding him of something tremendous that happened here. The void had returned, blanketing the city in darkness. His partner, Billy, died in that moment, and Sentry unleashed all his power to stop the villain, leaving a massive hole in the middle of Manhattan. Suddenly, someone arrives, questioning what Robert is doing here. Bob recognizes him. It's Reed Richards. Reed is curious about why so many buildings in Manhattan are destroyed, and how this man made it through a force field that should have kept him out. For Bob, it doesn't matter if he tells the truth. He'll still sound crazy. Mr. Fantastic asks him to explain, wanted to know how he got in. Bob replies that he entered just like always, but Reed won't remember. It's as if everyone is conditioned to forget Sentry. When people see Bob, they think he's just a drunk on the street. Robert thinks it's some kind of conspiracy, but he needs Reed to remember a wedding they attended long ago. Otherwise, they're all in danger. Something huge is coming, and Bob will need Reed's help. Even so, Mr. Fantastic insists that how Bob entered is irrelevant, pointing out that trespassing on private property is a crime in New York. Suddenly, Bob says something that triggers a memory in Reed, one he can't quite grasp, or maybe he isn't supposed to. Reed realizes the intruder has vanished. Later, on the news, a woman in Turkey claims that a storm took her entire village. A second woman describes it as a demon from the sky. The reporter wonders how 100 people could disappear without a trace, hinting at sinister forces. Meanwhile, over London, a mysterious darkness looms. Reed returns home, and Sue asks if it was a false alarm. He's unsure but asks her if they ever attended a wedding with a unicorn. Reed and Sue then notice a unicorn statue in their living room. Meanwhile, Bob is on a train, convincing himself that he's not making things up. If that were true, where do these memories come from? Like when he confessed to Lindy that he was Sentry, but she already knew for a long time, and later, they got married. Back with the Fantastic Four, Reed is puzzled by the unicorn statue's appearance, and Sue experiences déjà vu, as if all this had happened before. We flash back to Bob's wedding. Reed was the best man and gave a heartfelt speech in Bob's honor. Many heroes attended the wedding. Robert couldn't believe it. His mom and Thor were getting along well. He felt grateful, especially to Reed, gifting him a unicorn figurine. Reed saw the figurine as a symbol, representing Sentry as a unicorn, an invisible guardian that shows itself only to those pure of heart. It left Mr. Fantastic speechless for the first time in his life. Robert believed this way. Reed would never forget him. Back on the train, Bob reflects on how Reed and Lindy were once close friends. Heroes were his allies, but now they've all forgotten him. Robert wonders how they will ever remember. Meanwhile, Reed and Sue analyze a tape labeled Wedding Video. Sue feels an unsettling sensation, as if someone is sharing a forgotten secret with her. She has no idea why, and Reed feels the same. But there's only one way to find out what it means. Meanwhile, Robert reaffirms that he is Sentry, a hero with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Soon, his greatest enemy will return. Even though no one knows where it comes from, it exists and Bob is a hero. He wishes he could shout it, but no one would believe him. He even makes people on the train nervous, perhaps because of how he looks, or maybe because now that he's remembering, he's no longer casting a shadow. At the Fantastic Four's home, Sue asks Johnny if they can play the video, despite him watching TV. There's no time to waste. When the tape starts, it seems unremarkable, as if someone forgot to turn off the camera. Then, suddenly, the most incredible thing happens. Someone addresses Reed, asking him to make sure he never finds this video. The person on the tape is Reed himself, saying that if he's watching this message, it means they are all dead. That's it for the Sentry issue number 2. If you're excited to see what happens next, and how Bob deals with the return of the Void, make sure to stay tuned for our next episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Cosmic for more thrilling Marvel stories.